Check one. All right. What's happening? It's 17 days out, and my legs are actually telling me they're not too happy with what I've been doing to them lately. I'm a little bit tired, but I'm gonna rally, and I want to get this done, and then go take a little bike ride, and then pack up and head to Chattanooga. It is 9:46 in Nashville. Um, Little ride today with some hard efforts, but we're going to see about that. I'm going to probably just get out and spin and see how it goes. And if I feel like letting it loose, I might a little bit. Probably won't go too hard. I've been working on a blog post this morning, particularly about Louisville, um, and more specifically about the city of Louisville and how much I like that race. And, we alluded to it, I think, in the podcast today, which is called The Magic and Mystery of the Taper. But we talked about Louisville and the seemingly unending rumors about how this could be the last Ironman Louisville, and how it feels like there's always some question as to whether or not Louisville is going to keep going as an Ironman city. And I personally have like a really strong connection to that race. It was the first one I watched. I've done it twice. I've been there since 2012 every year. I love having that race downtown, and there's this whole thing about, that I kind of think about is that, maybe when that race got there, it was, the downtown wasn't quite what it was. And now over the years, it's really kind of grown up, and a lot of things are happening downtown Louisville. And if anybody's from Louisville, you can kind of please uh, chime in on this, because my suspicion is that at the time it was probably a huge deal to get an Ironman there, and it brought it. By all accounts, it brings about $8 million to the city Ironman weekend, and while that's a lot of money, I think maybe for a downtown that's not bustling, like when I started going there, Louisville's downtown was a little bit slow, and I actually loved it from the get-go. I don't particularly like. I used to love downtown Nashville, but now it's so out of control that I rarely even go there. But the point is that when a city starts bustling, and $8 million is a lot of money, but is it a lot of money to a major city for the hassle? I mean, the in this article, I'm kind of writing about the road shutdowns and things that happen because of the race. And I think after a while, it seemed like a good idea. Then it might start grating on people's nerves a little bit, and then the negative vibe keeps talking. So what and we proposed it on the podcast today, but I want to take it a little deeper with this article, and say, I really think it's important for Ironman racers and spectators to go into that city and remember that we're guests there, and reach out to obviously, local businesses and stuff like that, but reach out to the people, like in a genuine way. And the one thing I really I would love to see is that there's a lot of people that make Ironman signs for the races, and they're awesome, and they're cool, and they're funny. And I thought it would be kind of great if everyone that made a sign made an additional sign, one that just simply says "Thank you, Louisville," and we had those signs up all over the place. Because I think, for me, part of the deal is connecting with the locals. A huge part of it, like I live in Nashville, and there's always tourists running around, and they're kind of like looking up in the air, and nobody knows where they're going or whatever. But and everyone, says how much they love Nashville and everything like that. And I love hanging out. Yeah, they come in for a day or two, and they just sort of, I don't know. It feels like they don't really connect with me, and I love it when people actually talk to me about stuff, and instead of this blind like, oh, I love Nashville, it's just a great place. And I'm like, yeah, it's great to visit, but when you live here and people come strolling in every weekend and just kind of come in and leave, in the article, I sort of like compared it to somebody walking in your house, a guest coming over, and they just walk straight to the fridge and don't even like acknowledge you or thank you for, maybe the inconvenience. So I think that's important. But again, I want to put this out when I get this article out. Maybe it resonates with some people, and we can get people making signs that say "Thank you, Louisville," because I mean that in a genuine way. I understand that hosting an Ironman is not like, um, hosting a Super Bowl. You got a bunch of amateur athletes coming in, and many times, I mean, it's such a huge deal on our minds that it seems like, we're kind of coming in as like a Super Bowl or something like that, but really nobody cares about, the performance or the actual race. They just think about stuff like road closures and, 15 people coming into a restaurant and ordering water and then getting refills 3 times and not tipping well and things like that. I just think that we can, if we can on a grassroots level sort of make this a better experience for the locals, I think that'll go a long way. And you know, maybe we hit the right person or people that have some kind of influence, and the good vibes keep spreading, because I'd love to have that race there. I mean, for selfish reasons, and I guess a lot of times, but it's just such a great venue. It's downtown. I love the whole cosmopolitan vibe of everything, and staying down there and the finish line and all the 4th Street Live stuff and the beautiful river. And it's just a great place. So that's what's been on my mind this morning. I think it's just important that we don't take things like this for granted. I know we got, like in Chattanooga this weekend, there's a lot of flooding down there. I don't know what we can do to sort of make that less of a, because they're dealing with a lot of, I was just in Madison, they're dealing with flooding up there, and all these people come in, and I think it's important that you kind of remember what's going on in the community, and not just sort of come in and just throw your stuff on the bed and just not think about what local people are dealing with. So anyway, that's the article I've been posting. It's kind of another rainy day here, so I'm gonna probably head out in a little bit. And I packed my trainer for the road, so I'm just not into like setting it up and riding inside. I'm gonna go get a little spin out here, and then head to Chattanooga, um, and continue my soft taper. I hope that you guys have maybe checked out the podcast. I think it's a pretty good one about tapering. A lot of good stuff in there, and staying calm. But I am excited about Chattanooga. It's always great. I mean, I've watched, like I said, 2 weeks ago, I watched Madison, and now I'm going to go watch Chattanooga, and there's nothing like it to kind of get you fired up for your race, which will be in Louisville in October 14th. 17 days from now, we will be downtown, and hopefully seeing a lot of "Thank You, Louisville" signs out on the course. I'm trying to think what else. I mean, my legs are tired, man. I got I guess a 4-hour ride scheduled for Saturday, and then a hour and a half run on Sunday, and then after that, I'm going to be really backing it down. But I'm trying to keep it in my. You know how you can feel your legs; they get hot, and that's kind of how I'm feeling. And all I can think of is that's my, that's my body going to work and building and healing and all that stuff. And then I suppose that's going to even amp up on following a pretty big weekend. And then it's all about that inflammation healing and building stronger muscles and being fresh for the race. Robbie hit on it yesterday, Coach Robbie, on the podcast. He's talking about it's more about being fresh than fit at this point. So how do you keep it? He also used the analogy of sharpening the sword, but don't use it for the next few weeks before your race. Of course, if you're doing Chattanooga, you're in a lot closer situation. So right now it's all about being fresh and not pushing anything over the overtrained level. So anyway, that's it for today. I want to get on my bike and then hit on the road to Chattanooga. Hopefully it stops raining, and we'll get there and everything will be cool. And I hope that the rain is definitely stopping in Chattanooga soon, so we have a few days for that river to kind of do its thing, and then calm down a bit and bring out the sun and have a great day for the race on Sunday. All right. It is morning in Nashville, and I am about ready to hit the road. Thanks for coming in. Please check out crushingiron.com, the Crushing Iron podcast, and look for my article on Louisville in the next couple days. I think I might flush it out a little bit and release it after Chattanooga with some other things. So, all right. If anybody has any feedback on that, if you're from Louisville, like I said, please email me at crushingiron@gmail.com and give me some like local feedback on what you're hearing about the race over the years, and if you have any, I don't know, if you know people who don't want it around, and figure out maybe why, and see if there's anything we can kind of do to shift the perspective of that. So anyway, that's it. That's it for today. This is Mike with the Crushing Iron podcast. Join me and Coach Robbie every Monday and Thursday. You can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/crushing-iron. And we have a new store at crushingiron.com. You can check that out as well. And I hope you have a great day, and I will see you next from Chattanooga. Thank you.